If you've ever wondered why you're still stuck, despite all of the work you've done, the answer might surprise you. It may not be your circumstances. It might be your ego. If you've ever wondered why you're still stuck, and despite all of your hard work and your focus, you're just not where you want to be, the answer might surprise you. What if I told you it may not be your circumstances, it might be your ego? This month, I've been reading Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, and it has really shifted how I show up in my work, in my business, and in my life, and even in my morning routine. Today, I want to dig into some real questions that will hopefully help you look into if ego is your enemy and start your shift. Let's get started. Why do I keep feeling overlooked in my business? This is a really tough one. When you really boil it down, a lot of times what we're actually chasing is applause and recognition, not necessarily that next step. You see, one of the things I really like that Ryan dug into in this book is that ego is constantly chasing validation, not contribution. When we chase applause, we're doing things for how it looks. We're pushing ourselves. We're maybe looking to stay busy on things that aren't necessarily making a difference. But when you stop and really think about what you want to accomplish, what is the root cause that's driving you? What is your true why? And start looking at building new habits that help work you towards that true goal. That's where things begin to shift. You're not trying to be seen. You need to show up for you. Don't worry about what others are thinking. Don't chase validation. Chase the steps that move you towards your goal. All right, next question. How do I know if it's ego or confidence guiding me? Such a good question. Well, ego is usually loud and wants to prove things, whereas most often, confidence is actually very quiet and wants to keep growing. Ryan Holiday, in the book I'm reading, Ego is the Enemy, says that confidence is earned, ego is stolen. It's great to show up and, the whole phrase, fake it till you make it, that can be good. But make sure you're coming at that as a student and with a hunger to learn and to seek feedback and to seek advice and guidance. Worry about keeping promises to yourself for growth and keep that growth a little quiet at first. It's okay. You will show up, you will be seen, but do it for you. Okay, this is another really emotional question. I am so tired of starting over. How do I actually sustain change? Well, ego will be telling you in your head and probably yelling at you, you shouldn't have to do this again. You shouldn't have to be at this level this long. You shouldn't have to repeat this process or this title. But humility says, that's okay. Start again. Because the nice thing about starting again is you're actually starting with more experience and knowledge. You start a little more powerful and at a better advantage than the first time. It's one of the reasons I wrote Success by Intention, my book. I was starting to get frustrated with restarting. I didn't understand why I felt so held back and so behind and like I was late to what I felt I wanted to accomplish. But that's when I realized I was just chasing validation. I was chasing how I looked and how things perceived. It's when I went after really working on myself and the journey that I was going on to become the person that I wanted to be, not only for my family and not only for those that I serve, but who I wanted to be for myself. that's where I felt true change begin. And I was able to see situations that I was in and the influence and the power and the change that I could bring in that moment. And it's really amazing and really powerful. So check that ego and don't be afraid to start again. This is another really emotional question. What if I'm scared to start because I don't want to fail again? Failure does not feel good, but that's ego speaking. Ego is tying failure to results versus you tying failure to learning. You better fail. Fail a lot, because the more you fail, the more you learn and can grow and can see your ability to take information and process it and pivot. And it allows you to see your resilience. It allows you to see how you can rise to challenges. So I know it's easier said than done to say don't be afraid to fail, but you got to check your ego. Impressing people and being afraid of failure because people might laugh at you or they won't be impressed with you, that's not what it's about. It's about being impressive in how you show up, in your resilience, and staying true to your goal and the journey that goal takes you on. Whew. This one is a hard one because I'm still working through this next question myself. How do I quiet the voice that says I'm not doing enough? Yikes. Well, that voice truly is your ego speaking. Your ego thrives on urgency, comparison, and it even nudges you towards unworthiness. So how did I shift? I had to start with a very sacred but simple morning routine. I needed, before I even got out of bed, not touch my phone, not check emails and social media posts. I needed to start with me. Some deep breathing, just really thinking about how excited I am about the journey that I'm on and how I am becoming just a more learned and resilient and capable woman. And then after taking care of my spirit, I took care of my body. Just a little bit of deep stretches, a light workout, just something that honors my body and creates movement. And I also started journaling. This was so powerful to me. Keeping track of things that I'm grateful for, keeping track of my goals and dreams, keeping track of what I'm afraid of, the lies I'm telling myself, calling myself out for telling myself those lies, and then being able to go back and see my growth and my progress and see, if you will, you look back as you walk along the beach, you see those footprints in the sand, but it looks like you still have such a long way to go when you walk along the beach, right? The beach seems endless. Well, that's one of the reasons I wrote Success by Intention, is to take you on that journey that pulled me out of those voices that said, you're not enough, you're unworthy, you're behind, and allowed me to focus on my journey, work on me, and find a peace and a gratitude for where I was at, what I was experiencing, and the lives that I get to touch right now. Okay. This question. I want to grow, but I also want to be seen. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. It's human, right? Even Ryan, in his book that I've been reading, This Ego is the Enemy, says that our ego demands attention, and that can be hard. We want attention before we've earned trust, even in ourselves. So how do you combat this? Well, first of all, your community and who you surround yourself with. Make sure you surround yourself with people who are also wanting to grow and improve themselves. They're not victims and complaining about circumstances, but they're figuring out solutions for how to get better. And They not only want to cheerlead you along your way, but they also want to hold you to expectations and challenges that you're setting to yourself. It isn't about being big and loud. I understand we all want to be seen. Some of us maybe want all the riches and fame and glory, and we want to be maybe even Insta famous, but that's not real visibility. Real visibility is the impact that you have, and you may not even know the impact that you may not even know how many people you land up touching along your journey. So start by creating a mindset that is centered around gratitude and being present where you are right now. And develop a routine that feels good and protects you. And bring yourself into a community that is wanting to grow and grow in a similar way that you do, right? It's good to figure things out together, but take those first steps. Don't be afraid of being seen, but don't make that the reason that you do what you do. Do it for you and do it for your goals. Oh, this next question. I used to look at myself in the mirror while I was getting ready in the morning, and I would say, "You're not where you thought you wanted to be, are you? So what are you doing wrong?" I used to tell myself that. Look, it makes me a little emotional. So that's the challenge, right? Our ego, and it says it in the book, Ego is the Enemy, that I've been reading. Our ego will tell you that you are behind, you are not where somebody else who's younger than you is, or who maybe has less experience than you is. But what you need to do is quiet that voice and listen to your soul and embrace that you are becoming. That is the full sentence. You are becoming. You are on a journey. That journey will honestly never be done, because once you achieve the goals that you are setting out to achieve, you're going to achieve them, and then you're going to have even bigger goals and dreams. So this journey of growth and becoming everything that you feel so passionately inside, it's a process. Don't worry about how old you are. Don't worry about your title. Don't worry about what all you have accomplished and what you feel you haven't. That is just horrible voices in your head and a horrible thing to tell yourself. And you cannot grow and move forward if you keep looking at where you've been and telling yourself accusational lies about where you've been, because that's been a journey too. It's made you who you are today, and that's an incredible, amazing person. Stop telling yourself those damaging, hurtful lies and really dig into your mindset and your routine and start taking the steps forward in a positive and patient way. And just one little step a day. It doesn't have to be big. The phrase "Rome wasn't built in a night," as obnoxious as that feels when you're trying to accomplish great things, it's true. Every building is built by one brick getting laid down at a time. Be grateful for that journey. I'm afraid I've peaked or missed my window. So what can I do now? Ouch. So first of all, stop telling yourself that. That is one of the things Ryan talks about a lot in his book, is that the ego believes kind of in the moment. Everything should be urgent and fast in the moment, and you have to live up to all these other expectations that you feel like you see coming from others. True growth and true change comes from a routine that creates momentum. No, you haven't peaked. Some of the most successful millionaires and billionaires and CEOs and successful individuals, they didn't really come into what you see as successful until their 40s, 50s, even their 60s. I know a business owner that's just really opening things up now in her late 70s. It's okay. Your journey is sacred and it's for you, and you have not peaked. You may not even know when your peak ever is, because you will be in this midst of constant climbing, in which case I guess that means you never will peak. You'll just constantly be going up. And I think that sounds a lot more exciting than peaking, because to peak suggests that then we begin to decline. Well, I have no intention of declining. I don't want that for you. That's why I wrote my book, Success by Intention, is I want to help you with that mindset and your routine to help you just continue to grow. No peak in sight, my friend. I want to build something meaningful, but I don't know where to start. Well, start with yourself. Ego is that voice that says you have to do something big, you have to do something international, global, something that's loud and out there, something that allows you to look like you're in a music video just throwing money around. But wisdom and timeless true success says build deep. Don't build big, build deep. Reach into the ground, the fundamentals of what it is that you want and what you want to accomplish for yourself. Do you want a big fancy mansion and cars, or do you want to feel successful? Do you want to feel like you have financial independence? Do you want to feel famous and popular, or do you want to feel appreciated and recognized? Really dig deep and ask why again. I like to use analogies of plants so much for my own growth and my journey. You don't see this big, beautiful blossoming plant until the seed has sprouted and roots grow deep. So if your roots are not deep and enriched in a soil that is going to continually grow you and feed you, then you won't get as big as you're meant to get. So build deep. If anything hit home in this episode, I want you to know you are not alone in how you're feeling, the lies your ego is telling you. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are just simply letting your ego tell you these stories that's keeping you focused on where you've been, and you're keeping yourself stuck looking at that past version of yourself, and you will never be able to start moving forward until you quiet that voice. That voice is going to be there for a while. You have to acknowledge it, that you hear it, and just set it aside and replace that voice with gratitude, with intention, and with positive input. Maybe it's time you pause on entertainment type, music and TV or shows, and maybe you feed your soul for a little bit on what it is you want to get after. There are so many successful individuals out there that want to share their story with you. Soak up what they have to say. Go on that journey with them, and know that I'm here with you along that journey. I have created books, I've created journals based on what you want to accomplish. I want to help. I'm going through this journey myself. You're not alone. So let's shift together.